How is it going, guys? Welcome back for another Guild Wars fan video. So this is the second episode. Warrior was the first feed. Thanks for the positive feedback. Also watch it if you haven't, the link is in the description. But this time we take a look at the ranger profession. And when I say that this profession has a lot of diversity, I think it seriously, because they can attack from great distances using a bow, can interrupt enemies, can manipulate the environment, can make deadly traps and lure enemies into, can tank large groups of enemies. So how can they do all these? They have a unique attribute called expertise. This is a very powerful thing. Attribute points decrease the energy cost by 4% of your attacks, rituals, touch skills and ranger skills. Ergo, if you have a high expertise level like 12 or 13, then all ranger skills cost like half energy, and many other skills too. Rangers have 3 other attributes anyway. Marksmanship is basically for bowmasters. The more points you put into, the bigger damage you do with the bow. Then we have beastmastery, which makes the ranger's pet's damage better, while wilderness survival consists of many preparations, traps and stances. Rangers have a base armor of 70. This is the midway of high and low armor, but they also receive 30 armor bonus against elemental damage. They have 3 pips of energy regen and low energy in general. Like I said, rangers use bows in general. Bows are two-handed, have a base damage from 15 to 28, can be used to lure enemies, attack from great distances, and have 5 different types: flatbow, longbow, hornbow, recurve bow and shortbow. Now comes the $1,000,000 question: which is the best one? I think the answer is, it depends on what enemies you face, what build you choose and what your purpose is. Let's say you want maximum attacking speed, in this case flatbow or shortbow are the best choices. Let's say you want your arrows to be as quick as possible, then you should choose a recurve bow. Or you want to lure and hit enemies from afar, then choose a longbow or a flatbow. I guess you understand already, someone can say this or that is the best, but I will tell you which bow to use in which situation at the tips and tricks part. But now let's talk about the rangers' pros and cons. So ranger strengths: they have high armor against elemental damage, they can damage and weaken enemies without being close to them. They can be very tanky with the proper build, their DPS is great, they can have pets which deals nice damage, they are the masters of interrupts along with mesmers. Their unique attribute let them use many attacking skills of other professions too, further increasing their versatility. On the other hand, rangers' energy pool is little, 3 pips of regen is not enough to use high energy spells, and obviously weakness, blind and some anti-martial hexes like ineptitude, clumsiness hurt them badly. Okay guys, so what's the best secondary for rangers? Without doubt, assassin has to be their #1 secondary these days, mostly because of shadow form and dagger spam. But back in the days, monk and ritualist were the most popular, mostly for skills like vigorous spirit or splinter weapon. If you are thinking of doing speed clear stuff, choose assassin secondary, otherwise it doesn't really matter. And now we arrive at the most useful part for beginners, tips and tricks. Let me continue with the weapons and preparations first. I haven't said anything about the latter, so what's exactly a preparation? If I would like to answer in short, I would say these make your ranger better in a way. Some increase attacking speed, reduce arc of arrows, inflict poison, there are many different ones. So here is my first tip: use Read the Wind as a preparation. This skill is bread and butter for bowmasters, not just gives a nice damage boost, but also changes the arc of bows. For example, normally flatbows have a very high arc, but with this skill arrows move almost parallel to the ground. Because of this comes my second tip: use a flatbow and Read the Wind for casual gameplay. Flatbow's only weakness were the arc size and slower flight time, but with this preparation both are solved. Tip number 3: use either a longbow or a flatbow for pulling. This may sound new for some of you, but with these 2 bows we can aggro enemies without being close to them. Always watch the compass and the circle on it. My next tip is to use vampiric mode for max damage, or zealous if energy management is a problem. Like I said, rangers are masters of interrupting skills. Their best weapon for this purpose is recurve bow, shortest flight time and low arc. Distracting shot, savage shot and Read the Wind goes hand in hand here. Very important tip, guys, if you can stand on the high ground, your damage will be much better, simply because arrows hit harder. The opposite is true as well. Next tip, if you are using a beastmaster build, get a racing beetle pet and evolve with dire. This way you maximize the pet's damage. Also good to know that beetle has the highest base attacking speed of all pets, but moves slower. If you want to perfectly control your pet, display the pet control panel and give a target to the pet. This way it will attack the target as long as it is destroyed, and if things turn bad, use the heal command to bring it back to safety. And yet another tip, have some increased attacking speed. Drunken Master is a good choice, even without alcohol it gives 15%. Frenzy as well, but make sure you use it smartly. And at last, give your hero splinter weapon. This is probably the most important tip. It gives you damage boost like nothing else. Okay guys, it's time for the best builds. Some people believe that bow builds are not meta, but I have to disagree. If you use them well, they can do big damage. First build on my list is a good example of it. The spine of this build is Read the Wind and Prepare Shot. They solve energy management and allow continuous spam of penetrating and sundering attack. These two skills have very fast activation times, also great armor penetration, plus you can add skills like Judge's Insight from a hero to further increase penetration even more. Before the battle, always start with Slot Hunter Shot and precost I am the strongest too. Moving on, the next build is very underrated. Sadly took me 14 years to try Beastmaster out, but guys, pet builds are OP as hell. It's not just their DPS, which is one of the best on a single target, but also pets are very tanky. Call of Protection gives pets 20+ damage reduction, the pet can knock down if you put Great Dwarf weapon on it, has high attacking speed, high movement speed, inflicts deep wound. You can stay out of harm's way while your pet does the dirty work. Of course, Strength of Honor or Splinter weapon works with pets as well if you want more DPS. A very similar version uses Strike as one, a great way to move your pet immediately to the target, also balls up enemies nicely. Or if you want your pet to be even more tanky, you can use Heal as one instead, adds life stealing to your pet's attacks and can heal both of you. The next build is a hybrid of Dagger Spam and Beast Mastery. Like I said, Expertise let rangers use skills from other professions quite effectively. For instance, at 16 Expertise, skills with the base energy of 5 are reduced to 2 energy, plus if you wear a Zealous Dagger, it's only 1 energy per dagger skills. The pet provides additional damage boost, energy gain and deep wound, while the ranger uses dagger skills. Actually, it's quite fun to play next to your pet. And now comes the Ranger's new anniversary elite, it's called Together as One. We did a couple of community runs using this elite. This was the engine of the team. The more martial professions you have, the better it gets. This skill gives +7 HP regen and +16 damage to allies near you and your pet. Now imagine if you are using like 6 other rangers who stand close to you, that's a huge damage boost. Also the HP regen is great as well, equals 14 HP gain each second. So Dagger Spam offers itself for this elite skill. Together as one plus Dagger Spam is amazing, easily the best meta build for rangers. Also this build provides blocking abilities, can blind enemies, so this build have like everything you need. Okay guys, and now some fun builds. Barrage has to be on this list of course. And however, there are better builds these days, but this skill can still do nice spikes on Bola foes. Make sure to bring a hero with Splinter weapon, precost the Ebon Battle Standard of Honor and spam. This build builds adrenaline fast, helping the player to use Save Yourself frequently. Earthshaker is another fun build, Ranger Warrior hybrid. First build up adrenaline, use the elite for a knockdown and spike with Renewing Smash. Lightning Reflexes gives decent blocking skills and attacking speed. Let's continue now with the best solo farms. Ranger is capable of many things, it was a hard decision which farms to show, but Whirly Defense is their secret weapon many times. Glint's Challenge is a great example. This is called the Destroyer farm. wait about 3 minutes, let the destroyers ball up, then spike with whirling defense. If you do things well, you can spike them down in a few seconds. Another whirling example, this is in Fissure of Wu. Sadly this farm is only viable when it's Pantheon week, so there is no entrance fee. Run to the Tower of Courage, ball up the Abyssals, Shadow Rangers and spike. They die quickly and can drop obsidian shards, dark remains and nice shadow weapons as well. Some people hate the next build, personally I love it, the good old Trapper Ranger. I admit this build is slower than others, but I think it's fun to lure enemies into traps and see them die immediately. For casual PvE this sucks, but for solo farming it's not bad. You can destroy even bladed attacks, smite crawlers and a lot of enemies as well. Rangers can farm vampires too, but their job is very different than others. Melandru's Resilience is one elite I haven't mentioned yet, but quite good stuff. Gives 4 HP and 1 energy regen for each hex and condition on the character. Now with some armor boost, blocking, blinding and weakness, the Rangers can survive just long enough to kill the vampires with Vostros Demise and Worry. Don't forget to stack enemies at the ball and drain their energy with Sympathetic Visage. Beginner friendly farm is the next one, on the starter island of Kanta. Low level birds, but they drop feathers and roots very consistently. The build utilizes elementally skills and destroys Senzali quickly. Let them come to you, wait a bit, then spike with Shockwave, Aftershock, Crystal Wave and Light of Daldrimor, but make sure you maintain Stoneflesh Aura as well. The last build is very tanky. This can farm a lot of different creatures, mostly martial classes obviously, but has nice AoE damage and survivability with the elite called Escape. Okay guys, how good are Rangers at speed clears? Short answer, very good. A long answer, they can do crazy shit. In the underworld they are the kings, can do even 3 rolls, T1, T2 and T3. T1 is basically the smite crawlers area, you know, similar to the one I showed you at the solo farms. T2 is the mountains and pools area and their quests, and T3 has tasks at the chaos plains plus at the bone pits. In Fissure of Wu, the Rangers have similar builds, basically they can solo one particular area as T1 or T3, or they can be empty. T1 covers the Burning Forest and the Tower of Strength, while T3 clears the Lightning Forest and escorts the Griffons to the Tower of Courage. MT is basically the main tank, the one who balls enemies for other spiker professions. In Domain of Anguish, speed clear Rangers can be main tanks or trench tanks too. With the help of Monder ammo, they can ball up a lot of enemies for Mesmers to spike. So in summary, Rangers in speed clears typically take the role of a tank or Terra using Shadow form and Whirling defense. The only exception is Shards of War speed clear, where Rangers are the main spikers as Ranger Dervish, and probably that's the easiest of all roles. Also good to know that Rangers hold most of the solo records in endgame content. DOA can be done sub 50 minutes, all 4 areas. The Underworld is soloable in less than 2 hours, and I think Fissure of Wu is in around half an hour. So guys, by now I guess you have figured Rangers really can do many things. Remember how many different playstyles they have: ranged attack, beastmaster, trapper, melee fighter or even tank. They are good choices for those who like professions with a lot of diversity, who want to get into speed clears, who want to try out many different builds. And I hope this video will help some of you become better at Rangers. If you enjoyed it, then a thumbs up or a subscribe is appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching and see you next time.